What's up, Dominators? Welcome to the V-Share channel, and today I have with you my totally not borrowed RP deck. So yes, I'm V-Share, obviously with not a sore throat, as you can hear in my voice, and this is totally my Royal Paladin deck, as you can see right here. So much high rarities, and this is totally not borrowed from my friend. So yes, this is the deck recipe as usual. We're going to follow the full format as usual, where we showcase the deck, then go by skills and then cards. Why we do random, and then last but not least, maybe a little bit of combos here and there. So this is the new Royal Paladin that came out in V-BT05 Aerial Steed Liberation, with Gancelot being the new VR right here. So let's just jump right into it. Alright, here first we have Escorplate. It's a blaster, so the only grade 4 that is currently in V series other than what's the Kagyo grade 4? Novelva? Yeah, Novelva. One of the grade 4s, I guess. Basically the skill allows you to block clear, but not necessarily ran in this deck, so you don't really have to run Escorplate in the deck at all, because this is still a Gancelot oriented deck. You wouldn't really want to ride up into Escorplate unless if you're going against Extra Clan and they build a really good board and you really want to board clear them. So when placed, combos 1, choose one card from your soul and put all other cards from your soul into drop zone. And when this unit attacks, it battles all of your opponent's units in one attack. And then at the end of battle that you attacked, put 2 cards from your hand to your soul, retire this unit, write a Blaster Blade from your soul as stand. You could not write, you lose. What does this mean? Because the only reason why I run it and totally not why my friend runs it is because it's rarity. Yes, look at the SVR art right here. It looks very shiny, bling bling. So obviously it's not necessary to run. As I said before, you can take it out for maybe another Monarch Century Alfred. You can take it out for another Alfred early or King of Knights Alfred, up to you. It's basically your choice, but it's still a good deck in this deck. But most of the time you would find yourself discarding it for a Kanzen Fodder instead. Moving on to the new VR we have right here, Solitary Knight Gancelot. Basically this is the new VR that came out, and it gives all your Blaster Blades a Vanguard Circle skill and allows your Blaster Blade drive check. So first skill is all your Blaster Blade on your Vanguard Circle or Rearguard Circle gains power plus 10k, so it's actually a continuous 20k base. Almost the same as Monarch Century Alfred. And then during your turn, if your opponent's Vanguard is greater or greater, your front row circles with Blaster Blades on them become Vanguard Circle, and the Vanguard Circle abilities activate and perform drive checks. So what does this mean is that if you're on Gancelot and your opponent's at grade 3, your Blaster Blade the circles in the front row, which is the 2 circles right here, they transform into a Vanguard Circle for your Blaster Blade. So what does this mean? That Blaster Blade is on top, in turn, a Vanguard Circle skill, which means when it attacks, it may do 1 drive check as well. So that's basically it for the new Gancelot. There are a lot of runings, Q&A here and there about how this works and all that. Riding up from Blaster Blade during your turn is pretty complicated, but you guys can take a look at it. It's probably on the Cafe Vanguard Twitter or wiki site somewhere there. Moving on to Monarch Century Alfred. So ideally, if you are going second, you want to write Gancelot first, because your opponent's probably already on grade 3, so you can actually use Gancelot skill. If you're going first though, you might consider riding up to Monarch Century Alfred instead. So basically skill is all your Blaster Blades on Rearguard Circle or Guardian Circle against power plus 10k and shield plus 5k. So almost the same as Gancelot. Either on Rearguard Circle you gain 10k. But then obviously if you're a Gancelot, you don't gain the extra 5k shield. You only gain the extra 10k power. And then Vanguard Circle when placed, combos also plus 1, retire Blaster Blade from drop zone to your hand, and until after this unit gains 15k. And if a card with Alfred in its card name is in your soul, this unit gains crit plus 1. So reasons why you run this is because your first ride, obviously, if you have a Blaster Blade in your soul, which is your grade 2 turn, you probably would want to ride up into Blaster Blade to apply the crit pressure, in which you get to later. You may Counter Blast and Soul Blast the Blaster Blade from your soul, and then after paying the cost, since the Blaster Blade Soul Blaster from your soul is in the drop zone, you may return it back to your hand. So it's a really good way to tutor back your Blaster Blades from either from a soul or from damage. If you get a heal trigger, it goes to the drop zone. You may ride up to Monarch Century Alfred, and then Counter Soul Blast get the Blaster Blade back to your hand. Moving on to the grade 2, so we have your infamous Blaster Blades. So I think I don't think I really actually explain why you run 4 Blaster Blades, but basically my friend, not my friend, sorry, has all different varieties of Blaster Blade. Right here you can see IMR, we got a reprint, we got OR, and we got the Ibuki one. I have no idea what's the rarity for this. What's the rarity? It's IMR. Oh, it's still an IMR. Alright. Continuous Vanguard Circle, you have 4 more Vanguards, this unit gains crit +1. So what does this mean if you're on Gancelot and you have a Blaster Blade in the front row and your whole board is filled with Rearguards, your Blaster Blade actually do gain additional crit because Gancelot states that your front row circles becomes Vanguard Circle, so the Blaster Blade skill is actually active. If you have 4 or more Rearguards, this unit gains crit +1. And then when placed, you may combat Soul +1, choose one of your opponent's Rearguards in the front row and retire it. So obviously, sometimes in this deck you want to just Counter Blast and Soul Blast because most of the time the deck doesn't really require you to take up much resources other than some cards. But if you really have no choice and you just want to get rid of the opponents, let's just say 10k vanilla intercepts or 5k grade 2 intercept, it works as well. If it's your final turn, you ideally want to use the Blaster Blade skill just to burst Buster and kill it. Alright, moving on to the infamous grade 2, we have Bedivere. So I call it Gay and Bedivere because basically the combo within both of them, it makes a 24k column on grade 2, which is mostly a 15 or 20k card depending on whether you're Excel or Protect. Because if you have 9k base on Excel Protect, you're 9k base, yeah, sorry, it's Force or Excel and Protect. So Bedivere's skill is pretty simple. When placed from hand, you may call Fetch out Knight K, which is this grade 1 right here. From hand to Rearguard Circle, and if you call, you draw a card. And then during your turn that you boosted by K, this unit gains +3k. Basically it. Then obviously we have the new Knight of True Gordon. Basically this card skill is a really good booster for Blaster Blade. During your turn, if all your Blaster Blade on Vanguard or Rearguard Circle gains 5k, and then if your Blaster Blade is the same color as this unit, it gets boost. So what does this mean? That no matter where you put it on the back row or the front row, all of your Blaster Blades on the field actually gain 5k. You don't have to necessarily place it in the same column, but if you do place it in the same column as Blaster Blade, it gets boost. So if you take note about it, it's actually 15k on the first one, it'll be 25. With Gancelot, it'll be 35 boosted by a 10k, it's actually 45k column. And then that's if you're Force 1. But ideally, this deck, right, whether it goes Force 1 or Force 2, it really depends up to you. If you're going first and you ride up to Monarch Century Alfred, even though you don't get a crit, you still get the 15k power. So you have 28k base, you might ideally want to Force 2 if you want to pressure your opponent. And then when you ride up into Gancelot, your Blaster Blade does gain 10k, so it's a 20k beat state itself. Calling Gordon, it becomes 25, boosted is 35, and it gains 1 drive and additional crit if you have 4 more Rearguards. So with Force 2 is 3 crit, consider a 3 crit Vanguard with single drive, so it's pretty much scary. But basically, yeah, Gordon is a really good tag in the deck, but in this case where we only run 3 because we run the last grade 2 in this deck, which is Conjurer of Meteor. So Conjurer of Meteor, reasons why we run it even though it's a 9k base unit. The skill, when placed from your hand on Rearguard Circle, combat Soul +1, search your deck for 1 grade 2 card, call it to Rearguard Circle and shuffle your deck. So what does this mean? This helps you tutor out basically any of the grade 2s in the deck right here. You don't have a Blaster Blade on your Gancelot turn, your Conjurer Meteor helps you tutor it out from the deck. You want to apply more pressure, you can call Gordon, call Bedivere, and then just call K behind. It's really good, and I think one of the deck, even though it might not be consistent, it helps do the job, and at the end of the day, you may just throw it for intercept or just retire it from your circles in order to call Blaster Blade over it or something. So it's basically just there for the skill to tutor out your grade 2s. Moving on, we got Knight of Friendship K. Yeah, so basically the Gay and Bedivere combo, I would like to call it. When placed from hand, combat someone, search your deck for 1 Bedivere and call it to Rearguard Circle, shuffle your deck. And then during the battle that you boost Bedivere, it gains 3k. So essentially it's a 24k column where you get 10 plus 8, 18, and then when boosted by K, it gains 3. When boosting Bedivere gains 3, so it gains 6. So it's basically 18 plus 6 is 24k column. On grade 2, it's 20k guard for most 9k bases and a 15k guard for Force 10k bases. So it's really devastating, and most of the time your opponent will just take the combo hits of Gay and Bedivere right here. And especially if you have Blaster Blade on board, and you call with Bedivere and then you call K, and then K skill counter plus you call another Bedivere and then you call another K or any other grade 1 booster to boost Blaster Blade. Blaster Blade already gains the additional crit because you just need 4 or more Rearguards. So that's really good grade 2 turn. Next we have the new grade 1 from V-BT05, Knight of Heart Tristan, basically one of the best cards in the deck. to help you tutor out your Blaster Blade in your on Gancelot. When placed, your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, count +1, search your deck for 1 Blaster Blade, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your deck. Good thing is it goes to your hand instead of, you know, you have to call it to the rearguard circle, so it's really good. It's a free plus 5k shield, but if you're on Monarch Sentry, it's free plus 10k shield to your hand. At the same time, it helps you tutor a Blaster Blade for your Gancelot turn, or if you're out on Gancelot and your opponent's in grade 3, you just Counter Blast, add to the hand, call it, and then, you know, you gain the extra drive because of Gancelot's skill. So it's a really good card, but not necessary to run 4 off, because sometimes you might have Blaster Blade in your hand. Blaster Blades are not limited to the deck. You may fly to damage zone, might fly to drop zone, you might even ride up into it, so running 4 off is not really necessary, but it's not necessary, but I think that 3 at least is a pretty good number. Alright, moving on, we got Maron. V-BT06 Maron, I think is basically the only draw power you're gonna get in the deck. So when other rearguard is placed in the same corner as unit, you may count +1, draw a card. This unit gains 3 cases in 11k booster. At the same time, this deck doesn't, as I said before, doesn't really take out counter blast too much, other than you know, K, Monarch. That's basically it, and maybe Escapade, but you don't really Escapade that much with Tristan. So if you're really desperate for a card draw just to survive next turn, or you just want to draw to call more attackers, just call Maron in the early game. You'll place any rearguard in the same column as Maron, call +1, draw 1, it's a 11k booster for you. Last but not least, we have the last grade 1, which is the grade 1 rare perfect guard. Reasons why, I think you can see, because the trigger lineup, we are running 12 crits, 4 heals. The deck, as I said before, you wouldn't want to run draws anymore, because playing 12 crits in this deck, Royal Paladin, is actually really, really optimal, because most of the time you're getting drive checks off Blaster Blade, and if you do check a trigger off either Blaster Blade or Gancelot, you may pump all of the triggers to one rearguard or to the other rearguard that hasn't attacked, and it's really devastating for your opponent to take the 2 damage, especially if they are on 4 or they are on 3 damage even. You'll pump to your Blaster Blade. If your Blaster Blade, you only got 1 Blaster Blade on board, and you have 4 rearguards, your Blaster Blade is immediate 3 crits, your opponent are unable to take the attack, and they have to think of guarding the Blaster Blade with 1 drive check as well. So that really wrecks the brains of opponent, whether to guard for 1+ or to guard for no plus, or just PG and, you know, take the other attacks of your other rearguard if they are unable to block Blaster Blade, and Blaster Blade actually drive checks into a 1 more crit, so it is really devastating for opponent. So yeah, that's one of the main reasons why we run 12 crits and 4 heals in the deck. I think most of the viewers will actually agree with 12 crits. You may run 10 crits, 2 draws if you really want, but I don't really feel the need to, because as I said, this deck is really running on very high value power, so you wouldn't want to drive check any more defensive triggers such as draw triggers. Just go for the full out offensive and just play 12 crits. Obviously starter is Gleim, so that's about it for the deck recipe. I think you guys pretty much get it. Royal Paladin, this set is pretty much straightforward. Gancelot, being VR, I think is pretty meh. It's not say really good, not say really bad. Only thing about it is that if you are starting first and you first ride into it, it's pretty much vanilla, because your opponent's not at grade 3, you're unable to activate the skill. Even though you have Blaster Blade on your field or on your hand, you're still unable to drive check. So it's pretty much useless. Optimal right will obviously be more like Sentry, and as I said before, if you can see the ratios in the deck, you're running on a very low grade 3 count, which is only 7. But as I said before, you can take out Escapade the Buster to sub in for 1 more Monarch Sentry after. It's not really necessary in the deck, but I'll leave that to you guys, and yeah, that's about it. Thank you much for watching. I'll be posting more videos really soon, and I have a really big announcement coming out soon, so take note of that. But for now, this is V-Shai, and I'm out. Peace.